And I got to ask you, man, Wilder Fury last week, great fight. How did you score it?
I had a 115, 111 for Fury. I mean, let's be honest, and people are going to argue, it's kind of sad that everybody's coming out talking about the count. I timed it on my phone from the time that Fury hit the canvas till he got up. It was actually under 10 seconds. But in all the thousands of fights that go on, nobody's ever said anything about the count, you know? And you got people coming in getting anal about tenths of a second. You know what I mean? It's sick and it's sad. You finally have a great fight, and it was good for the heavyweight division, and everybody's crying. And I think Fury actually fought a great fight. You know, he did what he had to do. He lost 2 rounds, and they were 10-8 rounds. And now on the nice side, I gave Wilder one other round, which could have probably went to Fury. I thought it was a really good fight for heavyweight, and it was kind of sad to see the logs and the boxing groups on social media and the things they were saying. It's almost sickening to see anymore.
It is. I know what you're talking about, but is there any way Wilder earned a draw? I mean, he did drop the guy twice.
No. So to give him his 4 rounds, guess what it was? Give him his 4 rounds, and then, like I said, being nice, I gave him one other round, just trying to make sense of it. You know what I mean? But I watched the fight twice. Fury won the fight. Wilder fought a hell of a fight, though. Don't get me wrong. I mean, by showing heart and everything else, I think Wilder is great for the sport, the heavyweight division. Just like when he fought Ortiz, that was a great fight. So I give him credit. You know, Wilder, it was a great fight.
How in the world did Fury get up from that punch, do you think?
I don't know. You know, we don't know how bad he was hurt. Was he laying there just waiting for the 8 seconds, you know, and get his bearings straight and collect himself? That might have been what he was doing. You know, it was kind of funny.
Maybe he wasn't rising from the dead like
they were comparing him to the Undertaker. I see nose. That was funny. Who knows with that?
I'm just asking too, because it almost looked like the man's eyes were in the back of his head. The veins were coming out of his. Usually, a guy looks like he's out.
I didn't see that.
Right. Okay.
I seen him down, and again, I wasn't really paying attention. Most of the time, I was recording it with a exact Apple phone timer, so there's no screwing up on that, and to make sure that he was up. So even without the referee counting, he still beat the 10 count.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that referee didn't do it. If that was any other referee, he would have been up at 6 or 7. You know, you're supposed to wait for the fighter to get to the neutral corner. This referee didn't do it. He started to count. And Wilder was screwing around a little bit in the neutral corner also, but the referees tell you that before the fight. They come in the dressing room and tell you, hey, listen, don't F around, get to the neutral corner. And so there was nothing at all in that fight, you know, to say that it was robbery and it was fixed.
I mean, even on the timer, he gets dropped at 2:21, and he was up at 2:12 on Showtime's own clock right there. So that should settle it.
And again, the saddest thing is you have it in how many fights that you watch a week and throughout the month and throughout the year. And when's the last time you really heard anybody get that mad over a count? And I've seen some horrible counts. I've seen fights stop when they shouldn't have been stopped. And all of a sudden on a fight like this, you're going to cry over a tenth of a second. It's petty, it's sad, and it goes to show you how it goes anymore, you know.
Is Fury the best heavyweight in the world, or who is the best heavyweight?
I say right now it's going to be hard. The only thing with Fury is, I'm going to say, and taking nothing away from Wilder can hit. You know, that's a little scary there with the chin. That last punch was pretty hard. You know, the first one caught him on the equilibrium, and he went down. But that could happen again in a rematch. You know, Joshua, I don't think Joshua hits him as much. I don't think Joshua is as fast as everybody thinks. I think Fury would have an easier time with Joshua than he did with Wilder. I think Wilder can still beat Joshua. So it's interesting. But right now, I mean, you got to put Fury up there at the top. You have to.
And do we give Wilder enough credit for his heart? Because I'm curious what you think as a fighter. Don't a lot of fighters, if they miss that shot, they stop throwing it eventually, right? I mean, he at least had the commitment to keep. Or
I go over like this with the heart of Wilder. Shows you the Ortiz fight showed me more about Wilder than anything, and in a good way. That him getting beat up by Ortiz for them rounds and then coming back to knock him out showed me more than if he would have went there and took Ortiz out in 4 rounds. He weathered the storm. He came back. His condition was good in later rounds to stop Ortiz. That showed me a lot. Wilder, he's nobody that people should be picking on or talking shit about. You know what I mean? Right. The guy's good for the sport still too. He came in, he fought. I mean, after the fight, they showed great sportsmanship. It was awesome. You know what I mean? It was again a great fight for boxing. Everybody complains that there ain't no fights being made and that there ain't no good fights, and you finally get one, and you got everybody, you know,